Hello there everyone, my name is Sentient Samurai or Sam and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing several tips and tricks on how to improve in Clash Royale. These will be divided into 3 categories: Elixir Management, Deck Identification, and general tips for improving as a player. For your convenience, I will have several timestamps in the description below, so you can choose to watch a specific category. But for now, let's jump into it. It goes without saying that Elixir is a key component of Clash Royale, but how does one use this valuable commodity to its fullest potential? First off, it's important to understand the average Elixir cost of not only your own deck, but also that of your opponent. Now, as you simply can't leave your match halfway through, check your opponent's profile, see what their average Elixir cost is for the deck, and go back hoping to continue from where you left off isn't a valid option. It's not really that important to understand the exact number of Elixir cost of both yours and your opponent's deck. However, it's important to understand a general idea of how to compare to each other. Is your opponent's deck more expensive or cheaper than your own? Or perhaps somehow magically the exact same? Now, in order to also maximize usage of this information, you also need to understand what the 4-card cycle of your opponent might be. The 4-card cycle is defined as, after playing a card, what is the cheapest amount of elixir that can be spent to get back to that card. In order to calculate this, one would take the 4 cheapest cards from their deck and add the elixir cost together. An example of a 2.6 hog-righted deck, the average elixir cost, the 4-card cycle, would be approximately 7. This would be the Ice Spirit, the Skeletons, the Log, and the Cannon. Now, with this knowledge of 4-card cycle and your opponent's average elixir cost compared to yours, how do you best maximize this knowledge? This comes down to Elixir Management. Understanding how much elixir your opponent might spend on a push, and how much elixir can you spend minimally to defend that, while taking as little damage as possible. This can be put simply and understood by what's considered as elixir counting. What this would mean is taking note of any interactions you might have, how you count them, and how much elixir you have. For example, let's say both you and your opponent are at the exact same elixir, let's say 10. Your opponent uses a Goblin Barrel, putting them at 7. You use arrows to perfectly counter that Goblin Barrel and negate all damage, putting you both at 7. Now if you used a Snowball, for example, to counter the Goblin Barrel, which only costs 2 elixir, you would then have a positive 1 elixir trait, but potentially take a tiny bit of damage depending on the level of your Snowball, the Goblin Barrel, and your tower. These little interactions of gaining or losing elixir is critical for helping to develop a push. On an even playing field with even elixir, and your opponent both have the exact same condition. By gaining positive elixir trades for little interactions, you can gain elixir advantage, making your pushes a lot bigger and a lot harder to stop for your opponent who might be short on elixir. Being able to identify when you have a elixir lead and being able to take advantage of that is a critical point to improving as a player in Clash Royale. Deck breakdown can be simplified into 2 categories: win conditions and counters. It's important to make sure that you understand what your own win condition is, as well as your opponent's, and the counters that each of you might have for each other's win condition. By identifying your opponent's win condition, it's ideal to make sure you always have a counter for that in hand for whenever the cycle might put their win condition in hand. Vice versa, keep track of what your opponent's counters might be to your own win condition, and take advantage for when those counters are out of cycle. That way you can do a push toward their tower and hopefully do a... So what are some other tips and tricks on how to improve? One of these is called kiting. Kiting is the art of placing a unit in such a way an enemy unit and pull it away from whatever building or tower you might be trying to protect. One example of this would be a Mega Knight Ice Golem interaction. Your opponent will be sending down a Mega Knight in, let's say, the right hand lane. As the Mega Knight reaches the bridge, you place an Ice Golem in the middle, but slightly to the left. This would then cause the Mega Knight to jump toward the Ice Golem, pulling it into your left lane and away from your Princess Tower. While it does that, both your Princess Towers can continue to shoot on the Mega Knight, eliminating the threat. Other things that are important involve practice. Practice might seem a given, but in truth be told, there's no better way to improve than practicing. You might be struggling against a certain type of deck, maybe have a clanmate who's good at that deck by playing that against you. Do friendly challenges, learn different kind of interactions. Practice does make perfect, and there are several other resources by clanmates. There are several Discord servers for Clash Royale YouTubers or the official Clash Royale one, in which it's relatively easy to find a partner to practice with. Another tip that I found useful is watching replays, not just on TV Royale, but also on the official Clash Royale esports or any other tournament channels. During these, you can watch professional players in their matches and kind of observe their mindset and certain decisions they make. Try and kind of put yourself in your shoes, looking at their cards saying, okay, I have this in cycle, but why did I would have done this instead? Why did they choose this as an option? Try to understand their mentality and use that to improve. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and maybe even consider subscribing. I am rather new to YouTube, so if you have any advice whatsoever on how to improve, please let me know in the comments below. Also, huge shout out to my editor Lynn. I'll plug her social media down in the description below. But for now, take care guys.